Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're taking a plunge into something, well, something many of us think we understand pretty well,
Uh-huh.
weight loss. But, there are usually layers we haven't even touched.
Absolutely. Beyond the basics.
Exactly. You hear all the time about calories, diets, exercise, that kind of thing. But what if the real key to making it last? What if it's not just about food or movement? What if it's something much deeper?
Mm.
Our sources today, especially, I gotta say, the work from Dan Hollis, really shine a light here.
Yeah, his perspective is quite something.
It really is. He has this insight. Weight loss is biology. Staying there is narrative.
Wow. That hits hard, doesn't it?
Right. So this deep dive, we're not just gonna, skim the surface of the biology or medication. We're really heading into that psychological space.
It's a story.
The stories we tell ourselves, yeah. Especially after the numbers on the scale change, that critical phase.
And that's really our mission here today, isn't it? To unpack what actually happens when that constant background noise of hunger, when it finally gets quieter.
Mm,
And maybe your deeper truth starts to bubble up.
right.
And this includes looking at tools, modern tools, like
Yeah.
semaglutide, the medication that helps with appetite signals.
Okay.
But not seeing it as just like a magic bullet, more like a window to change.
A window. I like that.
Yeah. So we're going beyond just the science of it all to the meaning behind it, the personal journey it can spark for you.
Okay, so let's start with that classic idea. Calories in, calories out. Seems so simple, right? Like basic math.
Deceptively simple, yeah.
But what crucial piece do you think that leaves out? Especially for like lasting change. What really goes on after the weight's gone?
Well, that's precisely where these insights, Dan Hollis's work especially, becomes so powerful.
Okay.
He talks about something called identity grief.
Identity grief. Tell me more.
Well, picture this. Someone loses a lot of weight. They look in the mirror, the clothes fit differently. Physically, they're transformed.
Right, the goal achieved.
Sort of. But there's this weird feeling of unfamiliarity. Like the person looking back, it doesn't quite line up with the internal story they've had for years, maybe decades.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah, there's this quote, the weight came off. Then I realized I had no idea who I was without it.
Wow.
That's the stuff you don't see in the commercials, right?
Definitely not.
It comes up in the quiet after the initial, celebration dies down.
And that quiet, that silence, it can be especially noticeable with tools like semaglutide, I imagine.
Exactly. Because it can really dial down the volume on that constant hunger, the cravings. It creates a genuine pause,
A breather.
a breather, yeah, or even a
Yeah.
reset. And Hollis says, when the cravings stop, the truth begins.
The
The shoot begin. Makes you think, doesn't it? What kind of emotions, what core truths might come up for you if food wasn't there as the go-to comfort or the explanation for everything?
That's a really potent question.
But it also points to a potential danger, right, if you don't deal with what comes up in that quiet space.
Okay, how so?
Hollis points out that people don't just relapse into hunger. Often, it's more like they relapse into confusion.
Confusion.
Yeah, those deeper stories, maybe unresolved issues that food used to kind of paper over.
Muffle them.
Exactly. They tend to surface when things get quiet. And if you don't intentionally fill that space with something truly nourishing, new ways to cope, self-understanding, connection,
Then the old stuff comes back.
absolutely. Those old cravings, those habits, they can return, sometimes surprisingly strong.
Okay, so if confusion is the risk, what's the way through? Dan Hollis, you said he has a framework, not just a checklist.
Right. It's more of a shift in perspective, a way to navigate this post-weight loss terrain. The first part is about rewiring the rituals.
Rituals, like eating habits.
Yeah, but it's deeper than just nutrition. He points out these rituals are neurological. They're wired in,
Ah, okay. Habits.
deep habits. So even when the physical hunger is quieter, those behaviors can stick around. The real work, he argues, is actively replacing old habits with new, healthier ones.
Like what, for example?
Oh, it could be anything, really. A mindful walk, maybe journaling, reaching out to a friend instead of the fridge. His point is, as he puts it, every pound lost is a habit that needs replacing, not just removing.
Not just removing. Okay, that makes sense. So rewire the rituals. What's next in this framework?
Then comes something really crucial, maybe even counterintuitive. Anchor identity before the weight drops.
Before, not after.
Before, or at least concurrently. He really stresses that the internal work, that sense of who am I becoming, needs to happen alongside the physical changes.
Why is that so important?
Because, he says, your body changes faster than your identity. That's the trap.
The trap.
Yeah. If you're not actively asking yourself, who am I becoming now? Your brain can actually sort of sabotage the body's success because the internal map doesn't match the external reality.
Wow. So focus on identity even when the scale is showing progress.
Exactly. Build the internal structure to hold the external change, which leads right into the next point. Pace the process.
Okay. Pacing, not just going as fast as possible.
Definitely not. It's about metabolic pacing, sure. But even more, it's about emotional pacing.
Emotional pacing.
Yeah. He says, fast results don't mean lasting results. Pacing is protection.
Protection.
Because rapid physical change, if your emotional self hasn't caught up, if you haven't integrated that new reality, well, it can often lead to a collapse later on.
Like building too fast.
Exactly. Like building a skyscraper without letting the foundation fully set at each stage. Slow adaptation allows everything to integrate.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Rewire rituals, anchor identity, pace the process. What else?
Well, another key principle Hollis emphasizes is plan the off-ramp from day one.
The off-ramp, like getting off medication.
Exactly, or coming out of any intense weight loss phase. He stresses that the real work, the sustainability work, often begins after the initial intervention.
So you plan for the after right from the start.
Yes, because like we talk about, relapse often isn't just about hunger returning. It's about those unaddressed patterns, the confusion, bubbling back up when the drug or the intense focus ends.
So you need a plan for when that support changes.
Precisely. Which leads right into the next idea. Build the scaffolding.
Scaffolding.
Yeah. Hollis is really clear. Support isn't just nice to have, it's neurobiological scaffolding. This whole journey isn't meant to be a solo mission.
Okay, so what does that scaffolding look like?
It can be many things. Emotional support, definitely. Finding a community.
Yeah.
Having structure in your day. Even the language you use.
Language, how so?
The words you use to talk about yourself, your journey, your food. It all builds this supportive structure around you while you're essentially rebuilding from the inside out.
Building a support system. Got it. And there's one more.
Yes, and maybe this is the most profound one. Rewrite the narrative.
Ah, back to the stories.
Exactly. This is where Hollis really focuses. Helping people fundamentally change those deep-seated stories they tell themselves.
Stories about what specifically?
About past failures, maybe about their relationship with food, their body, their own worthiness.
That sounds like deep work.
It is. Because think about it. No medication, no diet can sustain change if deep down your story is still saying, I don't deserve this.
Right.
Or I'm bound to fail again.
Right. The internal belief undermines the external effort.
Perfectly put.
Mm-hmm.
As Hollis says, you don't hold on to weight loss with discipline, you hold on to it with alignment.
Alignment between the internal story and the external reality.
Exactly, alignment.
So, putting this all together, when we talk about tools like semaglutide, it's really not about cheating, is it?
Not at all. Hollis calls it adaptation. He even flips it around and says, you know, the real cheat was maybe pretending willpower was enough for everyone all along.
That's a powerful reframe.
It is. The medication or the initial weight loss, it just creates this space. The real meaningful work starts when you don't need food anymore to explain your feelings or to cope with what's really going on inside.
When you have that quiet space we talked about.
Right. And if you connect all these dots, the ultimate lesson here from Hollis and these sources, it isn't just about eating less food.
It's about
living more. Truly. Building a life where food is just food, not your only coping tool, not your main source of comfort or explanation.
building a bigger life.
Yes, finally having the mental and emotional bandwidth, the clarity to actually step into becoming, well, becoming yourself.
Wow. This whole deep dive, it really has shifted the perspective, hasn't it?
I think so.
We've moved so far beyond just, numbers on a scale or the latest drug. We're looking at the crucial, often invisible role of our stories,
Our narratives.
our identity, and the need for real intentional support to make transformation stick.
Absolutely. Which kind of leaves us and you listening with a final thought to maybe chew on.
Okay, what's that?
If physical change, like losing weight, can change your body in visible ways, what stories are you telling yourself right now that might be quietly shaping your future? What truth might start to emerge for you if you found a moment of real quiet when all the usual noise finally fades away?